This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Carter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. The birthday boy for August 18th is not alive. I know I make the rule that it has to be a good player who's still alive at this time. But after finding no real good players people who were alive on August the 18th, and had their birthday on August 18th, I decided to go a different route. I decided to go with this guy. That is Roberto Clemente. I know he died in that massive plane crash at the end of 1972, but he was born August 18th and then 1934, so he counts. Roberto Clemente was an icon, especially for the fact he played all his career for the Pittsburgh Pirates and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in the first year after he died. The Hall of Fame decided to change its rules of eligibility because of his career and his influence on people. Clemente played in 15 All-Star games, the MVP in 1966, the batting champion 61, 64, 66, 65, and 67, and won 12 straight Gold Gloves from 61 to the end of his career. He got his 3,000th hit on the final day of the 1972 season. He wasn't done. I think there were rumors he was coming back for a few more years in Pittsburgh, but yeah, that was just so sad that he died with 3,000 hits in his career, right on the nose. Clemente was the first player from the Caribbean / Latin America to win the World Series as a starting position player, to win an MVP, the NL MVP, and to win the World Series MVP award. He was really involved in charity work in Latin America and the Caribbean. Unfortunately, that is what killed him, as he was trying to deliver aid to earthquake victims in Nicaragua and died at the age of 38. The Pirates decided to retire his number 21, and the MLB renamed the Commissioner's Award as the Roberto Clemente Award for humanitarian aid. Clemente was a star of Puerto Rico. He would play Puerto Rico for a few years before Brooklyn decided to give him an offer to play in AAA. So he played for the AAA squad, and yes, this is true. The Brooklyn Dodgers AAA affiliate was in Montreal at that time, the Montreal Royals. So he played in Montreal as part of the Montreal Royals. He did get assistance from teammates such as Chico Fernandez, Joe Black, and one Tommy Lasorda. Pittsburgh really wanted to target a scouting trip. And he looked pretty good. The Pirates knew that the Dodgers were not going to put him on the 40-man roster, and that during the Rule 5 draft, the Pirates decided they wanted Clemente. Dodgers didn't make the effort to sign him, so the Pirates snatched him up in the Rule 5 draft. His first 6 weeks of in his major league career, he actually didn't wear 21, which was weird. He wore number 13 at times because Earl Smith, his teammate, wore 21, but it was reassigned to Clemente. Clemente would play in the Puerto Rico Baseball Winter League for many years. He actually joined the U.S. Marine Corps, which was weird. But it actually helped him because he gained weight and had no back problems. The Pirates were not really that great in the 1950s. Clemente born November 13, 1955. He was frustrated by ethnic and racial tensions. Basically, his own teammates. Kind of like what Jackie Robinson knew he had to go through. All that. He was frustrated, but he never held anything back, saying that he was taught never to discriminate against people someone on their ethnicity. Clemente was at a bad disadvantage because of him being a Latin player. The Pirates had hired Kurt Roberts to help him out. As their first African American player, and he helped Clemente adjust to life in the Pittsburgh area. Clemente got hurt in a car crash in Puerto Rico because of a drunk driver. Anyway, Clemente was still in the Marine Corps, but in 1960 he did fantastic for the Pirates. And of course, everyone knows the Pirates won the World Series in 1960 against the Yankees on Bill Mazeroski's home run. Clemente at least got on base once in every game. His .314 batting average and 16 home runs actually made him a reserve player on the All-Star roster. Clemente actually decided to change his swing, his batting technique, by using a heavier bat. Thanks to Pirates batting coach and one-time great slugger, great hitter, George Sisler. So Clemente improved himself. And it worked. He won the batting title 4 times in the 1960s, as I said previously, and the MVP in 1966. So anyway, Clemente would stop playing at Forbes Field as the Pirates moved from Forbes Field to Three River Stadium. Clemente had an emotional problem because obviously you like Forbes Field. July 24, 1970 was made Roberto Clemente Night at Three Rivers Stadium. In Puerto Rico, a lot of people from Puerto Rico came by to see him. Anyway, Clemente seemed to be okay. However, in 1971, Clemente was the reason why the Pirates won the World Series against the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore was up 2-0, but the Pirates came back to win in 7 games. Clemente got a hit in every game of the World Series. In fact, in his 14 World Series games, both 7-game series in 1960 and 1971, he got on base every time, every game, 14 for 14. He was named the MVP of the World Series. Clemente had some injury problems and only played 102 games in the 72 season. He hit a double off John Matlock of the Mets at Three River Stadium for hit number 3,000, and it was his last regular season at bat of his career. Clemente actually played right field, but didn't bat in one game on October 3rd, passing Honus Wagner's records for games played as a Pittsburgh Pirate with 2,433. He didn't do that well in the playoffs. Neither did the Pirates, as the Reds went on to the World Series, but lose to the Oakland A's. Clemente was a devout Catholic. He was in the Marine Corps and served during off-season through 1964. They had 3 children, all boys: Roberto Jr., Luis Roberto, and Roberto Enrique. Roberto Clemente Jr. is an icon in Puerto Rico for broadcasting. Of course, Clemente spent time in charity work, and when Nicaragua was affected by an earthquake December 23rd, Clemente set to work arranging relief flights. However, he learned that the aid packages on the first 3 flights were diverted by corrupt government officials, so he decided to go it alone and take the stuff to Nicaragua himself. So the airplane, unfortunately, he chartered had a history of mechanical problems. It was overloaded by more than 4,000 pounds due to the supplies. So it would crash into the Atlantic Ocean December 31st, 1972. Clemente's body was never recovered. That was just terrible. Montreal Expos pitcher Tom Walker, who was playing in Puerto Rico, helped him load the plane, and he almost went to the same flight. However, Clemente said that don't join me on the flight. Celebrate New Year's. And the funny thing is, Tom had a son named Neil Walker, who was a pretty good player. Anyway, Clemente set a lot of pirate records. That was huge. The baseball writers decided to have an election for the Baseball Hall of Fame. It waived the waiting period for Clemente because of his death and the prestige he had. And 92% of the votes went to him, so he was elected. So Roberto Clemente got into the Hall of Fame. It was just terrible. But the good thing about Clemente was that his name's on an award for philanthropy. So that was good. In fact, PNC Park, where the Pirates play, puts the right field wall 21 feet high in honor of Clemente's number. So, yeah, Pittsburgh was really huge. All that. So, it was amazing. Many MLBers were 21 in honor of Clemente, including Sammy Sosa. A lot of people said that 21 should be retired in Major League Baseball, but no. Right. So that's about it. One of the first Latino legends of all time. And that was just basically all you could think about Roberto Clemente, a great humanitarian. And he made a big sacrifice trying to help people in different countries. So anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.